Hey, welcome back to my channel, or welcome here if you're here for the first time. Today I'm going to be reviewing the first episode of the new Loki TV show. Um, and mainly because, not just mainly, but I did react to the trailer when it first came out a few months ago, last year. Uh, and so now I'm here to basically just talk about what I thought about the show. I'm going to start first with a non-spoiler review of basically stuff in general about the show and not about the plot, and then I will go more into depth about what I thought about the show itself. So, first off, would I watch this? If you have time, sure. It's pretty interesting, and I think that um, while my opinion on the first episode was that like a 6.5 to a strong 6.5 to a light 7, um, I would I do think that it has a lot of potential to improve as a show. Um, and that is why, like, sure, if you want to start it now, go ahead. That being said, I do think everything before the title sequence I didn't really like that much. Things like costumes, um, and just people's interactions, I thought was a bit like it unnatural, and it didn't really work for me. And I think that's the part of the reason for this is just Loki as a character throughout the MCU has changed a lot. Um, going from a villain to a good guy to a villain to a good guy, and just all of this change in his character that you really don't really get a sense of who Loki is now, right? Because it's a new Loki. Um, and I think that sort of hindered it a bit at the beginning. But over time throughout the show, it actually became okay. I don't want to elaborate too much on this right now because it is the non-spoiler part. Humor, jokes, what kind of sure, it has like a light comedic theme, but it also has sort of a deeper undertone of just Loki as a character and things he's going through. Again, I'm not going to elaborate more on that till the second half of this video. The jokes themselves, of what genre they are, I would classify it as dumb, stupid jokes. That doesn't mean that they're bad jokes or that they're not funny. I did laugh at some of them, and again, I would classify this as like the genre, because the jokes themselves are based upon the fact that it is just a really something really dumb just happened. Like, you just skip past like 5 seconds. I'm gonna use an example. This guy didn't know what a fish was. Okay, cool. Anyways, so basically, the jokes themselves, they're not the. And again, even though I didn't laugh at all of them, I still did enjoy hearing them, because one weird thing about me is, even if I don't find something funny, but I know it's a joke, sometimes I just enjoy the fact that the joke was there in the first place, and I like watching it even if I didn't really find it funny, because I knew it was supposed to be funny. I don't know. My mind works weirdly. But the flow at the beginning, the flow at the end, good. The score, I liked it. I liked the score. In terms of the visual aspect, again, the costumes at the beginning, everything else I really liked, and it sort of had like a overall like greenish theme, which makes sense because, again, Loki as a green sort of thing. And yeah, okay, that concludes my non-spoiler review. Next, we're going into specific things to talk about. So now, going more into depth of what I meant about the first, like, before the title sequence. One, the endgame scene. Now, I personally have a very big problem with the endgame CGI. They had so much money to spend on the CGI, and it not only was not worth the money, it was also just kind of bad. And this is not me being extra picky with CGI. I watched Titans, the TV show, the like DC Universe slash Netflix whatever TV show, and the CGI there is atrocious. However, I understand the circumstances in which it was made, and that is fine. The endgame CGI is bad, and also they had so much money to do this, and they still didn't do it well at all. I didn't like that. Weirdly enough, the CGI for the rest of the show, everything that is low-key part, like, I'm gonna say that the beginning of the before the title sequence didn't even really feel like Loki the show. It just felt like connecting it to the rest of the universe. And one weird thing about this is, I as someone who used to be obsessed with Agents of Shield, the like another Marvel show, um, one thing that generally fans of Agents of Shield found really annoying was that there was barely any actual connection to the show, because they couldn't. I don't think they even had a budget to hire any even cameos from Iron Man, Thor, even at least Nick Fury, because again, this is Agent Coulson. Actually, was Nick Fury in it? Was Samuel L. Jackson in one? Maybe. I don't remember. Um, but the point is, there was basically just no actual relevance to the show, to the movies, despite Agents of Shield quite literally taking place during the MCU, like with events in the MCU happening. And every time something happened in the MCU that had unforeseen consequences, and what's really interesting is one in like despite me not really being a Marvel fan, Marvel does the implications of actions better. And I'm not saying this is intentional, because other than Civil War, I don't think the directors of or the writers of the movies really consider the shows, but the writers of the shows are basically forced to consider the collateral impacts of this. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. The beginning of Loki just felt like connecting it, and I didn't like that much at all. The costumes in the Gobi Desert did not fit at all. I don't know if it's just me sort of growing out of the phase of like, oh, haha, whatever. Just the superhero costumes in general look kind of dumb, and these ones specifically look really stupid. You're in a desert, and at least Loki's understandable because yeah, whatever. But overall, just also people, as I realize more and more the inconveniences of superhero costume designs. Why are there so like? Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Just in general, the costumes after that really good. I thought it fit. Sorry, the theme much better, and I think the overall visual aspect of the show was really nice after the title sequence, and just sort of that aesthetic that it gives out. The aura of the show, the sort of feel of where you are within the show is nice, because again, the TVA is an organization, and generally the setting and where the show takes place is basically all of time and space, and that can be very overwhelming for someone who's watching the show. And I think it did a very good job of keeping the show contained, and not being too overwhelming. Again, some of the specific jokes I liked, other than the guy who didn't know what a fish was, when Loki was like, "What's that?" and the guy's like, "It's your temporal aura," and then Loki's like, "What's that?" I thought that was kind of funny. Or in the TVO video intro thing, which, by the way, nice thing Disney did hint at, just a little joke about how rich Disney is as a multi. I don't know why I said multi, but as a conglomerate, because the Flintstones, there was a Flintstone style at the end, and the Flintstones first aired on ABC, which is owned by Disney. Fun fact: Jimmy Kimmel airs on ABC, which means Flintstones, Jimmy Kimmel, Mickey Mouse, Darth Vader, and Iron Man are all technically tied together. However, the Flintstones are sort of owned by HBO, which is Warner Bros., which is also Discovery now because company stuff. I don't know how it works. The point is, it was a funny brag. Nice job, Disney. That's ironic, not nice job. You're bad. Anyways, but when like maybe you started an uprising, or maybe just were late for work. Haha, funny. Although related to that, just the whole concept doesn't work at all. And the thing is, I would like to stress, I'm not saying this is important to the the storytelling ability of the show that much, but it's a massive plot hole that I would like to talk about for a quick second, because I am taking grade 12 philosophy right now, and I have not done any of my homework for that, and so I'm going to make up for this by doing a YouTube video that no one in my philosophy class will see. So basically, none of this is possible, because they hint multiple times to the fact that this is a determinist world where your decisions are already chosen for you, which means that the decision for Loki to take the Tesseract was also chosen. Because what I would understand is anyone messing with time messes with things, right? Because when Loki said it was the Avengers that messed up the timeline, he was correct. Why would the Avengers have been supposed to do that? And if they were, then the Tesseract inevitably getting into Loki's hands would have been part of that, right? Because it's cause and effect. So Loki picking up the Tesseract was also was a result of that. Like, they understand how Loki's minds work, right? Anyways, my point here is none of this is actually possible. The second thing about Loki's character, Loki changes a bit, but no, Loki changes a lot in the show, and I think it's somewhat realistic, because again, he basically has an existential like crisis. Like Infinity Stones aren't even useful here, right? In the Tesseract, of course, what he's been chasing his whole life is one of the Infinity Stones, and just basically realizes it's the most powerful thing in the universe, and that would have a significant impact on him as a person. And then sort of watching his whole life, but it just felt a bit fast. That's all I'm going to say. I understand where it's coming from, and I felt like they did it well. It didn't feel off because you sort of went with it. It's just sort of looking back. I thought they used the sort of undertones of Loki being ashamed of himself really well, and sort of that stuff, because it did take a while for Loki to admit what Owen Wilson's character was talking about. I thought that was a nice detail, and I thought they did that well, and I thought it didn't just feel like Loki just did it right away. And I know this is directly contradictory to what I just said. The French. I speak French. The French was atrocious, and what ticked me off more was when that one guy said, like, I'm gonna try and imitate his accent. Moi aussi, je aussi parle la langue de. Anyways, I'm not even good at pretending. Anyways, basically the guy is saying that I also know how to speak French. Well, whatever, languages of timelines. So he's bragging about his ability to speak French with really bad French. And the second thing, Owen Wilson. I'm gonna use Owen Wilson as like the name because I don't remember the character's name. Owen Wilson talked to that little girl in French, and then in English, and then in French again. How would she understand the English part though? Anyways, when they show the imagery of like the cinematography or whatever of the TVA that looked like Coruscant from Star Wars, I thought that was cool. Again, the score was nice, and yeah, I think that's it actually. What does this even say? Oh, I actually remember his name now. I wrote it down. Agent Mobius. I can't believe I wrote it. Good job, Rishi from the past. Time. Again, before the intro sequence, I felt like also the character dynamics didn't work well. But that improved drastically, which is why I think that'll be much better in the future. And I think it'll be cool. I know I said it was like a little bit like Men in Black. This seems like a more interesting plot than Men in Black, I will say. And oh yeah, when I was watching the credits, because again I like the score, so I was just listening to it, and I was watching the credits. I saw Tara Strong. She's like minute something or something. I have no idea who that is, but I like Tara Strong as an actor. So I think that'll be cool. So whenever I figure out who she plays, that will be interesting. Again, I have no idea who the minute person is, but yes, and I like Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. He was cool. I thought again, like everything in the show, I thought it was a bit weird at the beginning. The dialogue was all just one word too, and I get like what they're trying to portray, but Anyways, this has been a fairly long video. If you're wondering why I haven't uploaded in so long, it's because I broke my computer, and then I don't have any editing softwares. I don't even have any editing softwares for this. But this is basically a monologue, and I don't want to edit it too much because I have decided that there's no point in me thinking that I am super boring. If you're watching this, you're watching this. If you're not watching this, who cares? Don't live your life by numbers. That's the Anthro Adult Swim code from his. None of you guys are on Anthro's Instagram. However, Anthro is not real. Make sure to go onto r/Anthro isn't real. But yeah, I did break my computer, and I had so many videos planned out, but I can't go this out to you because my computer is broken. So like Minecraft episode 3, that's gonna if I do eventually get my stuff back, it'll take a while. That one is annoying because that was fully edited. And all the footage is again on the computer, so I can't even like re-edit it, even though I'd never do that. Thanks for watching. Sorry that this is long.